At 68, Ethan Coen made a decision that stunned even people who thought they understood him. After decades of acclaim, awards, and cultural influence, he began quietly stepping away from the identity he had spent a lifetime building. It started with a public reckoning about his marriage, a relationship that had defied Hollywood norms for more than 30 years. Then came films that openly challenged conservative values and sparked calls for boycotts. Now, industry insiders claim he has been selling off assets and preparing for a withdrawal from public life that few celebrities ever attempt. His brother Joel reportedly urged caution. His wife stood firmly by his side. And beneath all of it lies a moment in 2018 that left Ethan fundamentally changed. Ethan Jesse Coen was born on September 21, 1957, in St. Louis Park, Minnesota, a quiet suburb just outside Minneapolis. He was the youngest child in a household shaped by intellect, debate, and culture. His sister Deborah was born in 1952, and his brother Joel followed in 1954. Their parents, Edward and Rena Coen, were both academics, and the family home reflected that world. Books were everywhere. Art volumes sat open on tables. Conversations at dinner drifted easily from politics to philosophy to stories overheard during the day. Nothing was ever treated as trivial for long. Their Jewish identity was woven naturally into daily life, not as strict dogma but as culture, history, and questioning. That atmosphere trained Ethan early to see the world as layered and contradictory. His mother, Rena Newman Coen, an art historian who taught at St. Cloud State University, played a particularly strong role. She brought the children to museums not just to look but to slow down and think. She explained why an image mattered, what kind of life might have produced it, and how meaning could hide in details. Later, she would write a major book on Minnesota art and hold a postdoctoral fellowship at the Smithsonian. In the Coen household, achievement was normal, not exceptional. By the time Ethan was 10, he and Joel were already experimenting with storytelling through film. They borrowed a Super 8 camera and turned their backyard into a movie set. They wrote scripts, staged fake shootouts, and created slapstick violence filled with exaggerated deaths and dark humor. These were not just games. They were early lessons in framing, editing, and tone. Even then, they were mocking authority and pushing scenes into uncomfortable territory, while keeping them funny enough to hold attention. As a teenager, Ethan's curiosity expanded beyond Minnesota. A family trip to London in the mid-1970s exposed him to British television and comedy, especially Monty Python. The surreal logic, deadpan delivery, and sudden shifts from seriousness to absurdity left a deep impression. Back home, he quoted sketches endlessly and soon created his own low-budget parody inspired by Monty Python and the Holy Grail. Shot for around $200 and running nearly 45 minutes, it mixed Minnesota-specific jokes with absurd medieval imagery. Friends who saw it could already recognize the strange blend of local realism and surreal humor that would later define films like Fargo and The Big Lebowski. In college, Ethan's writing took on a sharper edge. He began producing short fiction focused on Jewish families, emotional repression, and uncomfortable truths. Some classmates found the stories harsh or even offensive, but Ethan took that reaction as confirmation that he was doing something honest. Those early pieces eventually fed into his 1998 short story collection, Gates of Eden, which sold tens of thousands of copies. The book revealed the same emotional DNA as his films. Humor intertwined with misery, characters undone by their own flaws, and an unflinching look at disappointment and longing. The film career moved faster and with higher stakes. In 1984, Ethan and Joel made their first feature, Blood Simple, raising about $1.5 million independently. The story followed a simple crime setup that spiraled into misunderstanding and paranoia. What set it apart was how badly everything went wrong. Characters believed they were in control when they were not, a pattern that would become a Coen trademark. Premiering at Sundance in 1985, the film won the Grand Jury Prize and caught the attention of critics and festivals, even though the financial returns were modest. Raising Arizona in 1987 marked a dramatic tonal shift. Wild, fast, and cartoonish, it followed an ex-con and his wife who kidnap a baby after failing to conceive. Made for around $6 million, it opened quietly but grew through word of mouth, eventually earning over $22 million domestically. Its manic energy, rapid dialogue, and emotional sincerity gave the Coens their first true commercial success and established their ability to turn crime into comedy without losing heart. Miller's Crossing in 1990 swung hard in the opposite direction. A dense, moody gangster film inspired by Dashiell Hammett, it cost about $14 million and struggled at the box office. Released the same year as Goodfellas, it was overshadowed and initially seen as a failure. Over time, however, it gained respect for its intricate plotting and moral ambiguity. On set, the Coens were known for unsettling their actors with staged outbursts and psychological games, tactics meant to keep performances tense and unpredictable. In 1991, Barton Fink premiered at Cannes and stunned the festival by winning the Palme d'Or, Best Director, and Best Actor. The film, about a playwright losing his mind in Hollywood, reflected the brothers' own frustrations with the studio system. Though it underperformed financially, it became a cult classic, especially among writers who recognized its depiction of creative despair. Fargo in 1996 changed everything. Made for $7 million and earning over $60 million worldwide, it won 2 Oscars and became a cultural landmark. Its claim of being based on a true story was a deliberate lie, a prank that revealed how easily audiences accept authority. Frances McDormand's performance as Marge Gunderson silenced accusations of nepotism and earned her an Academy Award, becoming one of the most beloved characters in American cinema. The Big Lebowski followed in 1998 and initially appeared to be a misstep. Critics were confused, and box office returns were modest. But on home video, the film exploded into a cult phenomenon. Fans quoted it endlessly, built festivals around it, and even turned its philosophy into a mock religion. What looked like a failure became one of the most influential comedies ever made. No Country for Old Men in 2007 marked a darker peak. Cold, violent, and emotionally unsparing, it earned nearly $171 million worldwide and won 4 Oscars, including Best Picture. Its refusal to provide closure or justice unsettled audiences and critics alike, cementing the Coens' reputation for cruelty toward both characters and viewers. That reputation deepened with A Serious Man in 2009, a semi-autobiographical story about a Jewish physics professor whose life collapses without explanation. The film offered no comfort, only questions, and was praised for its honesty and philosophical depth. True Grit in 2010 then surprised everyone by becoming their highest-grossing film, earning over $250 million worldwide, and proving that even traditional genres could thrive under their approach. By 2018, after completing The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, Ethan was exhausted. The anthology's complexity drained him, and he stepped away from feature filmmaking.